Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Bench Racing Network. It is Wednesday, April 24th. Tomorrow morning, Thursday the 25th, after I drop Liv off from school in this contraption, we are going to hit the road. I say we, just me. We're going to hit the road and head to Thomasville, North Carolina. That's the overnight stop, and then the morning after, we're going to Kyle's over in Hurdle Mills, Roxborough, Bushy Fork, whatever you want to call it, North Carolina. This is really the first real road test of this car. I've driven it around town for the better part of a week now. It's been solid since I fixed the fuel filter issue, so I have high hopes for this thing. The only thing that concerns me is when I replace the transmission fluid in the car, or the transmission oil, I guess I should say, there was a roll pin that came out on the magnetic drain plug for the transmission. I am praying, hoping beyond hope, that it's just a roll pin from a previous failure of the transmission. Somebody pulled out, rebuilt it, did a perfect job, 30 years ago, and just forgot to clean the drain plug off. So that's what we're going with, because the transmission doesn't make any weird noises. It shifts fine. That's what we're hoping for. The elephant in the room is that super cool U-Haul cargo box on the roof of the wagon. I'll tell you how I got hold of that in a future video. There's going to be some videos dedicated just to that, because that is a little bit of a project. But the important thing is we got it good enough to make the trip this week. So I'm going to continue packing the car. I've got a whole list of essentials, and hopefully within the next couple of hours this will be done. I'll go fill it up with gas, one last little shakedown cruise around town, and then we'll hit the road tomorrow morning. So stay tuned. What a beautiful day to drive an ancient car in unreasonably long distance. Well, just dropped the kiddo off at school, and we are officially en route. I've just realized that I forgot sunglasses, so I have to make a stop and get some sunglasses somewhere. Fuel stop in probably 30 miles. But apart from that, we are ready to go. And it is an absolutely beautiful day. So it really is like a truly beautiful day. Sun's coming up over the mountains, car is running good. It's about 45 degrees right now. It's going to warm up to probably upper 70s today. I started this for, so I'm leaving Franklin at it's about 20 to 8. I'm going to meet my buddy Nick in Zirconia at, what is it, Mike's Chuck Wagon, that's what it is. On the interstate, in a normal car, it's about an hour and 30 minutes. The way I'm going to go in this thing, on back roads, it's about 2 hours, 15 minutes. So yeah, we're going to go down 64, take some back roads over to 107 through Cashers, pick up 64 again, and then run that down through like Rosman, Brevard, and then South Pennsylvania into Zirconia. So it's going to be a good day. Even if I break down, even if the car catches on fire, I'm decided it's going to be a good day. So go get some late breakfast, some coffee, and then hit the road out of there to Thomasville. Stay tuned. These are the kind of roads that I'm taking over there. This is Walnut Creek. It connects 64 to sort of the backside of Cullowhee and down into Lake Linville. Really pretty road, and actually I never drive it this slow. I'm usually in the V8 240 here on a motorcycle one, but it's a really nice drive. But yeah, this is what we got. Coming over the top here, this was the first big climb of the day, really kind of the only big climb of the day. This gets us up onto the Highlands Plateau, and then from here it's basically downhill all the way to, well, at least all the way to Columbus, and then it's basically flat from there. So I think that was the big temperature stress test, and sort of hard to see. The temp gauge looks totally normal. So all in all, I think we're doing great. God, what a beautiful day. Like, what an absolutely gorgeous day to be driving an old car to see your buddies. Man. So here we are in Cashers, North Carolina, first fuel stop of the day. Didn't really get too far, but I only had a half tank when I left the house. It gauge showed a quarter, and it took about 6 gallons, so the fuel gauge is pretty accurate. But from here I got another 20 miles or so on 64, and I don't know, maybe another probably another hour and 15 minutes or so before I get to meet up with Nick. But yeah, so far so good. So we're about 2 hours in, 2.5 hours in, more like it. This is our first 4-lane of the day. Car's still running great, no issues. So we got about 5 minutes till we get to the breakfast spot. We'll get some food in us and then hit the road again. So far so good. So we made it 2 hours. Met Nick. Got Nick's PV on the trailer behind his brand new shitbox $2,000 big block Ford pickup. No issues.
With headers.
With headers. Oh, that's good for at least 15 horsepower.
Yeah. It says so on the box.
Yeah, right. But so we're gonna grab some breakfast, hit the road out of here. So far so good. Well, we're back on the road. We got Nick in tow back there. Wow, that actually works pretty good for holding the phone. Huh. But yeah, we got Nick in tow back there. A little waggly. Car's still running good. We got another, got about 45, 50 minutes from the next stop. Stop at a friend's house, drop some stuff off. And then out of there, we're gonna head, now we're gonna head, well, now we're gonna head more north than we have before. Head up 64 into Hickory, and then from Hickory into Thomasville. So, yep, still about 3 hours in, give or take. Still doing great. Coming through the beautiful Cane Creek area north of Ruffin, North Carolina. And I don't know who that was, but he liked the car. I got a good friend of mine who lives down about a half a mile that way. Well, not lives, has a place down that way. His family's from this whole area. I like it a lot. Bailey and I have talked about moving out here quite a bit, maybe one day. But yeah, we're on US 64 now. I've ridden this a couple of years ago with my buddy Luckadoo. We took a couple of motorcycles and did Murphy to Manteo on the original Ride Old 64. So I've driven this road quite a bit. Anyway, oh, this is a dude has a bunch of old Nissans and stuff here. Pretty interesting bunch of Z cars and all kind of stuff. I keep meaning to stop there one day when I'm coming through, but yeah, we're just gonna keep on trucking. Activities here. Moving a mobile home, and is he going to catch that sign? He was yanking on it a minute ago. I think he just cleared it. But starting to idle a little high. It does this when it gets warm. Jackknife and block the road like he's a P2 V70R or something with a galactic turning radius. So I think I'm just going to shut it down and wait and see what happens. 5 hours in, we are outside of, we're just east of Hickory, North Carolina. Car is still running great. The weather is still absolutely beautiful. No problems to report so far. No real complaints other than the seats. You know, they're a little uncomfortable, but yeah, beyond that, we're doing good. The roof box it's about a 3 mile a gallon hit. Because I've clocked fuel mileage before and I get 21, 22, somewhere in there. The last tank from Casher, North Carolina to outside of Hickory, I got like 19. So yeah, it definitely has an effect on fuel mileage, but you know, that's just the price of balling out of control. Morning. It's April 26th. Actually, I made a little video last night when I got here. Walked around, talked to some people, had some good footage, and then realized that I wasn't recording anything when I went to edit stuff last night. So anyway, last night's trip was, or yesterday's trip was uneventful. Roughly 300 miles, give or take. Car did not miss a beat. It got about 19 miles a gallon with the box on top as opposed to about 22 with it off. But yeah, really had no problems. So we still got Nick's PV here. We got some other Volvos around the corner there. We got 240 in the shed. And we are gonna roll on to Waffle House when we get some breakfast. And then on to Kyle's later today. So we missed this gym. I think it will need a fuel tank. Either that or that's just the fuel vent now. But
some flat fuel will fix you right up.
Yeah, Nick, I think you may have bigger fuel tank problems than I did, unfortunately. I hate to break it to you, but it's almost like this is a 64-year-old car or something. It's weird. Yeah. This is the proper method of removing a fuel tank from a PV.
I mean, it is moving a little bit.
There we are, rolling out to Kyle's. And away we go. We got Derek in front of us in his really cool turbo swap. Well, I guess it was a all is a turbo car, but highly modified 740 turbo wagon. Nick is still behind us with his tow rig, and then behind him is Matt and his 240. I forget what year it is, maybe 90. I think it's a 93. He said. I don't remember what's done to that car. But yeah, anyway, just cruising right along, having a good time with the boys. About another hour, we'll be pulling up to Kyle's, and then it's swapping motor into a PV time, I guess. We just crossed the Merced County line a minute ago, which means we're about 5 minutes from Kyle's shop. I've been thinking, this is unfortunately going to be sort of a boring video, because like I fixed everything that could go wrong with the car, really, save for like the transmission, which I mentioned earlier, and I've just been enjoying it. Like, it's just been a nice couple of days of cruising on some back roads, so there's not a whole lot of like action content, you know, in your typical, will this car make it 8,000 miles, you know, sort of stuff, because it just works, you know. It might be an old Volvo, but still a Volvo. So yeah, I'm very happy with this thing. We'll be pulling into Kyle's here in about 4 minutes or so. I'll cut together some clips from the meet, and, you know, we'll do the drive home. But it's been great so far. You know, I got a lot of confidence in the car now, and it's done several hundred miles. So hopefully after we do some shenanigans this weekend and turn around and make it home, it'll be fine. But yeah, keep on keeping on. And we made it. Coming up the drive to the headquarters of Long Automotive here. I always loved Kyle's place. This whole area is kind of family land. It's his place there, and the shop out back. It's a really nice place to drive to and hang out. There he is. There's Kyle. So, good place to hang out for a weekend with some friends. Some cool cars. Pushing the PV down here to the shop to get it pressure washed out. Derek's wagon. Kyle's caddy. Cadillac. Kyle's caddy. And this thing I love. Saffron C70. So good. And then the bag if I swapped Amazon. Hey, Obi. Nice save. So one nice thing when you pull up to Kyle's and he notices that you're missing the trim ring, he just sends you around out back of the shop to the parts car area and says, hey, I bet you there's one on that car back there. And sure enough, oh, come on, get off of there. There we go. Trim ring. So I don't remember the whole story with this car. Like, I don't remember why it was a parts car in the first place. I think it was wrecked, maybe on the back over here, possibly. Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe it was just so horribly rusty because the floors are about gone. But on Kyle's car, pretty sure it's over here. His wagon had a bad wreck in the back, and he had to cut basically everything out of here. His whole rear fascia out, and all the structure and everything too, to weld into his white car. And that was many years ago. But yeah, still occasionally some decent stuff on it, like a trim ring. And I'm actually kind of glad I came and looked at this, because on mine, this whole area here is mushed in. I think it can be fixed, but if not, at least I know I could come out here and cut that out and weld it into mine. I'm sure there'll be people that are, you know, bemoaning the fate of this car, but, you know, at the end of the day, if you got to keep cars on the road, unfortunately, some of them have to be parts cars, and there's just really no way around it. Like I said, this car, if you look at the floors, they're gone. It's very rusty here. It's had other patch panels cut out of it. So this has been a parts car for a long time. Still a wagon though. Well, was a wagon. But yeah, got a P80 over there, another P80 there. I've actually taken quite a bit off of this car in years past. The coolest thing, and I still haven't put it on my 240, is this car had a electric sunroof motor. And I've never actually seen another one, so I grabbed that out of here. Oh, it's got all the lug nuts in the back still. I don't remember what did this car in either. Oh, yeah, I do. There's a bad wreck on the front corner over there. This was a turbo car, thus the black headliner. But he's had this one as a parts car for a very long time also. That's the kind of thing that Dean would pull out of the woods and try to make run. But, you know, for more sane people, it's a parts car. So we got the 60 PV up on the lift in preparation to start putting the motor in it. Underneath this thing actually does not look bad. It's more solid than my wagon. I mean, the floors are like mint. That ain't bad. Around the back, really the only rust on it is like here. This rear sill panel, whatever you want to call it. It looks like it was probably kind of poorly repaired a long time ago. But yeah, other than that, that's a good car.
Yeah.
Good bones anyway. Yeah. I didn't know they had like a diff mount up there. That's kind of cool. Interesting. Huh. Wow, it's just so bushings that clamp around the axle. Man.
Is this a 3-link rear end?
It's like a miniature version of like a Chevy pickup, really.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know enough about that.
Nice shirt, by the way. Yeah. I think that'd be cool. Good patina. So we drove the work truck over here. First job is to extricate a B18 from somewhere in this old tobacco barn. Funny story with this truck. His granddaddy bought it brand new. And it's got...
wouldn't ride in it.
Yeah, right. How many miles on it? Something... 45,000 miles. And yeah, it's been parked since new like this because his dog didn't like the truck and wouldn't ride in the truck. Absolutely mint Ford Ranger. Going in the engine barn to get us a B18 and an M40. Always have the right tool for the job, you know? Go for it. I'm doing this all by myself. There it is. Yeah.
Let me get this straight on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mint.
Oh, it does have a distributor cap. Yeah.
Well, between the two of us, we brought about 6 more, so. There we go.
Hey, throw that in the back of the truck.
He's fighting.
He's fighting.
The tractor was about to flip over, so we had to add some ballast to the front of it. Here we go. And to top it all off, we got some farming going on today here. Just having a big old time. And here we are. We got camp set up now. That's the back of Kyle's shop, and I'm still getting the hang of, you know, selfie video. So my preferred solution for camping is a hammock. There, yeah. So it sets up in about 10 minutes, if that. Super comfortable, gets you off the ground, and you don't have to deal with a whole bunch of wet canvas and everything when you're done. I mean, you got the rain fly, but that's easy. So yeah, let me show you the setup. So I got the rain fly off Amazon years ago. It was about the cheapest one they had. Just 2 little strings to trees there to create a kind of ridge line. A couple of lines down there to the ground. The hammock we bought back when we were in college. It's a, you know, this is a double nester, and a bug net to go around it, and that's all you need. The hammocks themselves, I remember thinking that was a little expensive, but I've had these for, gosh, 11 years now, 12 maybe, and they don't wear out and they keep working. So we're gonna sleep in that for the next 2 nights. I do have a little underquilt that I put in. Sometimes I'll probably put a sleeping bag in there too. Since it's not gonna be too cold, I may not even use the underquilt or sleeping bag. I may just sleep in sweatpants and a light jacket, which is a little more comfortable. But yeah, so that's the setup for the next couple of nights.
I pulled the motor mounts out.
I got it. You want down more?
Yeah. Because
they don't fit. You're looped around the hood hinge there on the plug wire. Good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, can we come towards you?
This is going to be my view for a while because I need to crack a beer here. I haven't done that yet today. I'm going to watch Nick struggle. Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Building cars is fun.
Cars are pain, right?
Yeah, they're okay. I think I'm gonna sell this and buy a model train set.
I always said that if the V8 car broke in some way that was like expensive or difficult, I'm just gonna take up paper mache.
Collecting stamps.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, with all 7 of our collective range cells, we did not realize that the metal parts of the mounts for the pushrod motors are different between an Amazon and the PV. We don't have the right mounts to put the motor in this car because we don't have them. We didn't know they were different. So at one point there was a discussion about fabric cobbling something to make that work, but I don't know where that wound up because I went to town for a beer run and to get a few other little odds and ends. But Matt and Derek are over here putting a 3-inch exhaust on this. They got pulled off of a 242 from behind the building. We'll go take a look at that here in a minute. But yeah, so that exhaust came off of, not the Ghia, obviously. Came off of this car, which was really, it was a really nice turbo 240. Very unfortunate. It was a fuel fire and the whole car was gone in like a matter of minutes. I think maybe Adam was the guy that had this. Anyway, it was a very, very nice turbo 240, like factory turbo, you know, with I think it had a Mega Squirt on it and some other stuff, you know, modified car. But, and it wasn't even, I think the fuel line just like randomly failed. I don't even think it was like chafing or like crappy, you know, crappy workmanship or anything. It just, you know, sometimes shit happens. So keep a fire extinguisher with you, kids. Mm-hmm. Raising that kid right. So in the never-ending pursuit of concours excellence for this car, you know, I wanted to be a Pebble Beach winner 2025. We are restoring the factory wheels, you know, as one does. Definitely not with $5 rattle can paint from Walmart or anything. This is the correct Volvo approved method. But yeah, turns out it looks about 1,000% better with just like a decent coat of paint on it. And this might flake off in 2,000 miles or it might not, I don't know. But you see precisely like that much of the wheel. So yeah, we're gonna paint it, send it, see what happens. So we got Amazon up on the lift, and that was actually a pretty good opportunity to sort of go through and just in one shot show everything that's been done, because most of it has happened underneath this thing. So we'll just start at the front, work our way back. When I got it, it did not have bumpers on it, so I had to track down these brackets, put those brackets on for that bumper. Then we moved back and we did all the steering, the tie rods, the ends. This is actually slightly bent. I'll probably need to find another one, but it works all right for now. Bushings and the sway bars there, bushing there. I have not yet done motor mounts. Actually, I really need to. And the oil that's leaking there is actually leaking from the fuel pump because there's no gasket behind it, because I got mad and I didn't like cut a gasket for it. I just slapped that on, so probably need to cut a gasket or RTV that. We've got bushings in the control arms here. We've got new ball joints on the lowers, new ball joints on the uppers, and that sort of does it for front suspension. The only thing I didn't do up here was this idler bushing, because there actually doesn't seem to be any play in it. And from under here, you could also see the alternator that went on, the Swedish Embassy alternator bracket. Obviously a new belt to go along with that. Yeah, let's turn around here. And we rebuilt the brakes and new pads in there, new hardware. We disassembled the rotors from the hub and had those turned. Oil change, new filter there, of course brakes on this side. Then we got into running the brake lines. Actually sort of proud of how this turned out. The hose clamps are maybe a little hokey, but you know, it's what we had at the time. I think it worked all right. New exhaust down here, just a stock exhaust, and also a new brake line for the rear and a new fuel line there. Takes us back to a muffler, which was also new flex line there. I did not put parking brake cables on it. It came with what looked like fairly new ones, so that worked out okay. And around here, continuing our efforts in Concours restoration, we do have brand new limiting straps, courtesy of Mr. Long over there, because the ones on it were cut and broken, and when we put up on the lift, the springs fell out. So Derek and Nick put those on. You can see here how the fuel feed is now set up the original way. Runs up that way. Then in the back, we got new bushings here, new shocks here, bushings there, bushings in the panhard bar, and of course bushings on the other side to match. And the exhaust continues on out here, all new hangers all the way through, and bumpers here with their brackets. I'm actually missing the bracket for right here, but that's the only one. And yeah, fuel tank, you see new clamps there, whole fuel tank came out, we cleaned that, and that pretty much does it for under the car. It was a lot of work to mash into a fairly short time, but you know, we're able to get done, and so far it has held up. So also a good opportunity just to get up on the lift and kind of check our work, and nut and bolted after 300 miles, 400 miles or so of driving. And back on the ground, let's go through real quick what we did in the engine bay. Didn't pull the motor out, didn't rebuild it, did nothing. Ignition tune-up. Actually, I never even put points in it. It's got the points in it that came out of when it came out of the barn. Cap, rotor, plugs, wires. Coil is original. 7 or 8 variations of fuel pump. Finally, there's a whole video on that. I don't need to get through it again. The radiator was rebuilt by Moretta Radiator. Finally, last thing I did, I got air filters on it. I saw the alternator from the bottom and rewired it for run the alternator. So new positive charging cable here directly to the alternator, and then a cable here down to the starter. That was new. And then up here we've got new hydraulics for the brakes and the clutch. Added the windshield washer, because you know you gotta have that, and added the Google one, because why not? And that's pretty much it. Did some other sort of maintenance related stuff, adjusted the valves, new thermostat. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and it's been solid. Yeah, fun day yesterday. Didn't really make the progress on the TV we hoped we would, but you know. Ow. Oh, my jaw does this. Anyway, it's morning. Cool carbs. Let's hear the carbs. Still not to 60.
No. There's 60.
There's 60. Call that a 27-second 0 to 60.
Yep.
Your turn. So we went over to Kyle's place to get his mama to notarize the title, and this 68 bus is sitting over there. been sitting for a couple of months, but we got it running. So now we're just sort of bumping around in it. James is fiddling with the carburetors. I think we got our carburetor, I should say. Seems like it's running a little better now. That's a good shot right there. But yeah, I drove it back over here. It was an experience. I think we're both going to drive it. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, this is good stuff. Yeah, he really did not put in much, did he? Good morning from the farm. It's Sunday morning. It means it's time to start packing up and get on out of here in a couple hours. It is a little after 7 o'clock now. I'd like to be on the road, honestly, by 8. But we'll see what happens. So, got a pretty long drive today. I'm just going to plug in the home address into Google Maps and say take back roads. And it looks like it's going to take me sort of on a northerly route, which is nice, just because I really don't get to drive that area very much. So, kind of up north of Winston-Salem, down up through Boone, down through Spruce Pine and Burnsville, kind of skirt around the northwest side of Asheville, and then on home. So I think that's what we're going to do for the route today. But anyway, hopefully it's an uneventful ride home. I guess we'll see. Looks like somebody cow-meated harder than I did. Well, I thought the route was going to take me sort of around the north, and I looked and realized that, I mean, it had, even taking back roads, that route would have added about 2 hours. So I'm just going to kind of go the way that I would normally go, which is down through Charlotte, and then probably stick on 74 out of there. I mean, the car will do, it'll do 65. I just don't like to push it to 70 or 75 to try and keep up with, you know, newer, normal cars on the highway. But car's still running good. No real no problems to report with the car. So I've got probably about 250 miles, give or take. If we can make it through that, make it home, I'll be happy. So appreciate y'all sticking around. No, it has been absolutely primo drive an old car and enjoy it weather all weekend. And this is exactly the kind of roads that I wanted to enjoy this car on. Just kind of, I mean, this is Highway 49, but just 2-lane, you know, 55, 65 mile an hour speed limits. Not a whole lot of people around. Nice, pretty countryside. Yeah, this is what it's about. A little bit of SU induction noise there. Oh yeah. Oh well, I mean, no new changes, nothing really to report. We're cruising right along on 226 now, which is sort of, it's outside of South Mountain area, South Mountain State Park, South Mountain Gatelands, sort of the foothills of the mountains. We'll be coming up on, oh gosh, what, Marion, Morganton, I think, here in a few miles. And from there, I'll pretty much stick on whatever, Old 74, I think. There's kind of a back way around. And home. So, if keep making good time, I'm about 2 hours and 15 minutes or so from the house. Just filled up, well, just probably 40 miles ago, filled up. But yep, road's still doing great. So, enjoying the day. It's feeling a little spicy. Figured I'd hop on I-40 and see how it did. So we're starting to climb up out of Old Fort now, which is a long, tough climb. We'll see how the car does. And right up there is where it starts. So I think it's about 6 or 8 miles or so uphill from the stairs. Uphill. Yeah, see how we do. And believe it or not, I'm in the fast lane passing people going up this hill. And I have to slow down for this idiot and get out of my power band, which is great. And here we are coming over the top in Ridgecrest. Absolutely no complaints. 10 gauge did not even move. That just validated all the mechanical work I did to this car. That was an 8-mile climb. Had wide open throttle the whole way. And not even a cough, a sputter, a little bit of running warm, nothing. It's a damn good car. Well, we're on the home stretch here on 74. Just crossed over Balsam, which is the next to last big mountain that we got to go over to get home. I've got I got about 3/8 of tank of fuel. I'll probably make one more fuel stop just so I'm not pulling into town on fumes. But yeah, I'm not really worried about anything else at this point. It's made it this far. So yeah, about another half hour or so, and you know, always nice coming down Cowee and seeing the mountains in the distance there. We are on quite literally the home stretch. If anything happened now, I could just about coast all the way back to the house. Oh man, what a trip. Here in the light of the headlights because you can't see me. Well, it is 8:52 p.m. on Sunday night, and we have made it home. Uneventful, flawless, nothing but reliability and pure motoring enjoyment. I'm tired. I gotta unpack the car. I gotta get packed to leave to go to Green Bay tomorrow for work. So I don't even know how to end the video other than to say that I am over the moon excited and pleased with how well this car has performed and the way that validated all the effort that I put into it. Thanks for coming along on this ride. You're going to see a lot more of this car on the channel. We're certainly far from like done with it. But yeah, that's the culmination of the road trip that the car was built to do, culmination of Kyle meet. And yeah, we'll do it again next year. Maybe not in this car, but we'll be back to Kyle meet. Thanks for watching, y'all. Take care. Get out in your garage and fix it. Well, I guess one more thing. I guess I need a bigger key rack because this car is no longer that. It deserves a spot on the rack over here.